The wounded stranger in the snow asterisk. The snowstorm was getting worse. Jace pulled his coat tighter and leaned into the wind. His boots sank deep into the icy ground with every step. The planet was cold, cruel, and empty. No humans lived here anymore, only old machines and dead cities. Jace had come to scavenge power cells, maybe old food supplies. But today, he had found something else. At first, he thought it was just a pile of scrap. Metal armor, cracked and dented, half buried in the snow. Then he saw the blood. It was thick and dark purple, frozen on the surface. That's when he noticed someone was inside. He knelt beside the figure and brushed snow off the helmet. Faint sound came from within. A voice, soft, weak. Help. Me. Jace froze. The armor was alien. The design, the markings, it belonged to the enemy. The ones who started the war, who killed millions. He should walk away. He should leave this creature to die. But he didn't, single quotes to dot. He reached under the arms and lifted the body. It was lighter than he expected, but cold, too cold. Whoever this was, they wouldn't survive long without heat. Jace cursed under his breath and carried the stranger toward his shelter. It wasn't far, an old mining cabin, half broken but with working heaters. He didn't look back. The wind howled behind him like ghosts chasing through the white fog. Inside, the lights flickered as he kicked the door shut. He placed the armored body on a blanket near the heat coils. Steam rose as the snow melted from the armor. The helmet's eyes blinked, faint blue lights flickering like dying stars. Jace pulled off his gloves and searched the armor. He found a broken translator module near the neck. It sparked, then died. He didn't dare open the mask. It could be dangerous. Maybe the air would kill her. Or maybe she'd kill him. Still, something didn't feel right. This alien, this warrior, was no killer. Her body was shaking, barely breathing. She looked fragile. Can you hear me? He asked. The head moved just a little. You're safe now. I won't hurt you. But if someone's after you, you have to tell me. The figure groaned. Her voice came through the helmet, faint, broken. They're coming. Please, don't let them find me. Jace's heart pounded. He looked out the window. Nothing but white. Who's coming? He asked quickly. She tried to sit up, but fell back. Hunters. My own kind, she whispered. They don't know. I escaped. Jace didn't understand. Why would her own people want her dead? He stood and walked to the door, checking his scanners. No signs yet. Still, she didn't have long. Her blood loss was bad, and her breathing was weak. He needed to stop the bleeding, but he didn't know how to treat alien wounds. He pulled open his medkit and grabbed the emergency gel. Carefully, he lifted part of the armor at her side. Underneath was flesh, grayish-purple skin, torn and burnt. She didn't scream. She didn't even move. He pressed the gel into the wound. It hissed, then sealed. Jace sighed. That's all I can do. The rest depends on you. The woman stirred. Why? Did you help me? He looked at her, surprised. Her tone wasn't angry. It was soft, sad. Because you were dying, he said. And you looked scared. Silence. Then she whispered, I didn't think any human would care. Jace sat beside her. I don't care who you are. Everyone deserves a chance. She said nothing. Her chest rose and fell slowly. Minutes passed. The heater hummed. The wind outside slammed against the walls, shaking the cabin. Jace leaned back and stared at the ceiling. He should be afraid. This alien could be a spy, a killer, anything. But instead, he just felt tired. And strangely, he felt sorry for her. Suddenly she moved again. Her hand reached out, weak and trembling. She grabbed his sleeve and pulled him close. Jace leaned. In her voice was barely a whisper. Don't let them see my face. Promise me. I promise, he said, Not fully understanding why, her fingers loosened. Her breathing slowed, but before she slipped into unconsciousness, she said something else. Something that made Jace freeze. "If I die, remove my mask. Only then will you know who I really am." Her head dropped. She went still. Jace sat there, staring at her. He didn't know why, but he felt like his world had just changed. Asterisk. The night was silent, too silent. Jace sat near the heater, watching the strange woman sleep. Her breathing was slow but steady now. Her armor was still cracked, blood dried in the grooves, but the heat had helped. She hadn't moved since she passed out. The storm outside had finally calmed. But that didn't comfort him. Jace stood up and looked around the small shelter. It was old, barely holding together. Metal walls, a half-broken scanner, and a rusted food unit in the corner. Not the kind of place you'd want to spend a night with an enemy soldier. He turned back toward her. The armor still glowed faintly. Dark streaks of dried blood painted the chest and shoulder plates. And it wasn't all hers. Some of it was red, human. Red. Jace's throat tightened. He hadn't noticed it before. That blood didn't belong to her species. Had she killed someone? Another scavenger? A soldier? Was she dangerous? He slowly reached for his blaster from under the cot, just in case. But as his hand touched the grip, the woman stirred. Her head turned toward him, and her voice came out again, weak but clear. "You think I killed them?" Jace froze. He didn't say anything, but she already knew. "I didn't," she whispered. "I protected them. But I failed." Jace moved closer, still gripping the weapon tightly. "Who did you protect?" She didn't answer. Instead, she slowly raised her hand and pressed it against her side, where the wound was. Her breathing grew heavier. "They were scientists. Prisoners. I tried to get them out. I fought my own kind to help them, but they still died." Jace looked at the blood again. Now he saw it differently. Not a trophy of war, but a sign of a fight she didn't win. He sat down across from her, setting the blaster on his lap. "Why would you protect humans?" he asked. "Your people hate us." She laughed, just a small breath of air. "My people hate everything. Even themselves." Jace leaned back. He had heard rumors about secret factions within alien empires. Some wanted peace. Most were destroyed before they even began. Maybe she was one of them. Then why wear the armor? He asked. She paused. "Because I had to get close to them," she said. "I needed to look like one of them. But when they found out, they turned on me." Jace didn't know if he believed her, but one thing was clear: she wasn't lying now. Her voice was too broken, her eyes too full of pain. Then, suddenly the scanner on the wall blinked. Beep. Beep. Jace stood quickly and ran over. The signal was faint, but real. Movement outside. 3 heat signatures. Closing in fast. He cursed. The woman sat up weakly. "They found me." "Who?" Jace snapped. She looked straight into his eyes. "Hunters, elite trackers. They don't leave survivors." Jace grabbed his coat and pulled it on. "Then we run." She shook her head. "I can't move." He stared at her, then at the door. 3 enemy warriors outside, trained to kill. And he was stuck with someone who couldn't even stand. His heart raced. He could leave, escape through the back tunnel. They wouldn't catch him. He didn't even know this woman. She was just a stranger, an enemy. But he remembered her words. "Remove my mask and you'll know who I really am." And her voice when she begged him not to let them see her face. He clenched his jaw. No, he wouldn't leave. "I'll hide you," he said. She blinked slowly. "Why?" "Because you saved humans," Jace said. "That makes you worth saving too." He moved quickly, now dragging a broken crate behind the cot and pulling up loose floorboards. Underneath was a deep storage space. He helped her slide down gently into the space. She winced but didn't scream. Before covering her, he paused. "She Grabbed his arm. If they enter, and you can't stop them. Promise me, Jace, don't let them take the mask. Jace's breath caught. He hadn't told her his name. How do you know who I am? She smiled weakly. Because I knew you before. When I was still someone else. Then her eyes closed. Jace stood frozen. Knew me before? The scanner beeped louder. The signal was now. Just meters away. He slammed the floor shut and threw a blanket over it. Then he grabbed his blaster and faced the door. Knock, knock. His hands tightened. The door creaked. Opened and shadowy figures stepped inside, guns raised. The first hunter stepped into the cabin, tall and silent. His armor was jet black, with a red symbol glowing on the chest. 2 others followed shorter, faster, each carrying weapons that hummed with deadly energy. Their helmets had no visors. No eyes, just smooth, blank metal. Like they didn't need to see. Like they could smell lies. Jace didn't move. He stood with his hands in the air, trying not to breathe too loud. The lead hunter stepped forward. You are human, the voice said, filtered and deep. Alone? Jace nodded once. Just scavenging. Storm caught me here. The second hunter moved to the side, scanning the room. Its device blinked and buzzed. Recent movement. 2 heartbeats, 1 human, 1 unknown. Jace's chest tightened. The third hunter pointed a long curved blade at Jace's face. Where is she? Jace didn't blink. Who? They didn't. Answer. The leader moved closer, scanning him with a red light that passed over his chest, arms, even his face. The machine let out a beep, and the hunter lowered his scanner. No blood detected on this human. No battle scars. He is not the one who fought us. Jace said nothing. The second hunter stepped toward the cot. He bent down, touched the floor. His hand hovered over the hidden compartment. Jace's heart pounded. Then the scanner beeped again. A soft pulse. It wasn't detecting life. It was picking up technology. Right under the floor. The hunter's voice turned cold. Something beneath us. Shielded device. Possibly a mask signature. Jace moved fast. He grabbed a pipe from the wall and slammed it across the hunter's back. Sparks flew. The hunter stumbled but didn't fall. The second one turned instantly. Raising his gun, Jace rolled, dove behind the cot, grabbed his hidden blaster, and fired. The red beam hit the second hunter's leg, blasting armor apart. He screamed. The third one moved faster than anything Jace had ever seen. Jace fired again, but the third hunter was already gone, behind him now. A heavy arm slammed into Jace's side, throwing him across the room. He hit the wall and fell hard, blood in his mouth. Bones cracking, his vision blurred, but then he saw something glowing from beneath the floorboards. The mask. It had activated itself. Faint light was leaking from the scene's soft blue waves, like it was breathing, like it knew danger was near. The lead hunter marched forward and ripped up the floor. Jace shouted, tried to crawl, but he was too slow. The alien woman lay there still, unconscious, armor broken. The hunter reached down to grab the mask. Then it happened. A burst of energy exploded from her helmet, throwing the hunter across the room. His armor sizzled. Steam poured from his joints. She opened her eyes, not wide, not panicked. Calm, cold, controlled. Her voice was sharp now, almost robotic. You were warned. Do not touch the mask. The remaining hunter shouted in strange language. The injured one limped toward the exit, calling for backup. Jace crawled toward her. What is that mask? She looked at him. Her eyes were not the same as before. One glowed faintly blue. It's not a mask, she said softly. It's a prison. Jace blinked. What? She touched the side of her helmet, and a panel opened, revealing wires, strange lights, and something that looked like a pulsing heart. I was forced into it, she said, years ago. They made me wear it to control my mind. Change who I Was. Jace watched, stunned. You said it was hiding your identity, he said. She nodded. It is, but not just from others. From myself. Jace leaned closer. So who are you? She closed her eyes for a moment. I don't know anymore. But the mask, it holds the truth. My real face, my real name. Everything I was before the war. Jace touched the edge of the helmet. It buzzed at his touch. You asked me not to remove it. Yes, she said, because if you do, everything will change. Suddenly, the scanner blinked again. More signals. 7, maybe 8. Coming fast, Jace stood, reloaded his weapon. We can't stay here, he said. She tried to move, but her body was still too weak. Jace grabbed her arm and lifted her. I'm not leaving you, he whispered. Whatever's in that mask. Whoever you are. I'll find out later. As he pulled her toward the back exit, the glowing mask pulsed again. Then it spoke in a voice that was not hers. System unlock sequence initiated. Identity protocols unstable. Prepare for revelation. Jace froze. The woman's body went limp. In his arms. And the mask whispered something even he could understand. You've already met her. Jace, you just don't remember. Asterisk. The cold air hit Jace hard as he stepped into the dark tunnel behind the shelter, carrying the woman on his back. The old mining shaft led deep underground. Years ago, it was used to transport minerals. Now, it was just a path to nowhere. A hiding place. The woman didn't move. But the mask on her face glowed softly, pulsing like a heartbeat. And in that pulse, Jace kept hearing that voice soft. Strange, familiar. You've already met her, Jace. You just don't remember. His grip tightened. The tunnels echoed with the hum of distant engines. The hunters were outside, searching the surface. But for now, they were safe. At least for a little while. Jace reached an old storage chamber and placed her gently on a metal crate. Her head rolled slightly, her breathing shallow. He sat down across from her, shaking. His side still hurt where the hunter had hit him, and his hands wouldn't stop trembling. He stared at the glowing mask. Then slowly she opened her eyes. Jace, she whispered. His eyes widened. You're awake. She nodded slightly. You carried me. You saved me first, he replied. Silence settled between them. The only sound was the soft hum from her helmet. I need to ask, Jace said. Voice low. What do you mean I already met you? She turned her head toward him. The mask lights dimmed, then pulsed once. You knew me before I became this, she said. Before they put the mask on. I don't understand, Jace sighed. I wouldn't expect you to, she replied. They erased me from your world, your records, even your mind. That was part of the design. He shook his head. No, I would remember. You're not human. I wasn't always like this, she whispered. They changed me. Her voice cracked, pain slipping through. Jace leaned forward. Who did? She stared at him. Your people. And mine. Together. A project called Bridgewalker. A secret mission. To create the perfect negotiator. A living hybrid alien. But human enough to understand both sides. Jace's heart skipped. I heard of that, he whispered. A rumor. A test subject. She died during transport. Ship exploded. She nodded. That was the lie they told. He stood slowly. His memories rushed back, old missions, hushed. Conversations. A girl in training, clever, fearless, always one step ahead. But she disappeared. Her name was Lyra, and Lyra was dead. He looked at the woman again. No, he said. That can't be you. Lyra was human, fully. She couldn't survive this. I didn't, she said softly. Not as I was. He stared at the glowing lines of her helmet. The same voice. The same calm tone Lyra used when facing danger. Even now, her words were measured, careful. Why didn't I remember you? He asked. They wiped your memory, she replied. You were close to me. Too close. When I was taken, they feared you'd come looking. So they took it all. Jace sat back, shaken. I failed you, he whispered. No, she said. You tried to save me. You chased the ship. You screamed for them to bring me back. But they erased that too. Tears burned his eyes. All this time he thought Lyra had died. All this time he had forgotten her face. And now, she sat before him, her body scarred, her voice distant, her identity locked behind an alien mask. How much of you is still you? He asked gently. I don't know, she replied. They rewired me, trained me, modified everything. But some part of me, something buried, remembered you. When I saw your face, it pulled me back. The mask pulsed again, softer now. Jace reached forward, his fingers hovering over the smooth surface. Can I see you? He asked. The real you? She hesitated. Not yet, she said. The mask is still connected to them. If you open it now, they'll track the signal. They'll find us. Then we wait, he said, pulling back, until you're strong enough. She nodded slowly. He stood up and checked the door. The scanner showed no movement yet. But it wouldn't be long. We need to leave this planet, he said. If they know you're alive, they'll never stop. I know, she said. And there's something else you should know too. What? The hunters, she whispered. They weren't just here to kill me. He turned, eyes narrowing. Then why? They were here to recover the mask, Jace frowned. But why? What's inside it? Her voice was quiet, almost scared. A list of names, high-ranking leaders. On both sides, traitors, war makers, the ones who caused everything. Jace froze. If that data was real, it could change everything. She looked up at him. That's why I ran. That's why they can't let me live. Jace stared at her, the weight of her words sinking in. And suddenly, he realized this wasn't just about her identity. This was about the truth of the entire war. The small tunnel chamber was quiet. But Jace's mind was not. He paced the floor slowly, his blaster close, eyes watching the shadows like they might attack. Every breath he took felt heavy, full of the truth she had just told him. Lyra was alive, changed. Yes, but alive. And now he knew why the mask mattered. Why the hunters would kill to get it. Inside that helmet, deep within its memory circuits, was a list, names, hidden identities of those who had betrayed humanity and fed the war from the shadows. It was more than just knowledge, it was proof. Jace glanced back at her. She was resting again, her body weak, the glowing light of the mask flickering as if the helmet itself was breathing. He couldn't take his eyes off it, not because it was alien tech, but because he had once loved the person inside it. Lyra. He still remembered her laughter, the way she challenged him during training, the long nights they'd spent working side by side at the outpost, talking about peace, about what the galaxy could be. If people just listened. And then she vanished, or rather was taken. The official report had said she died in an explosion while on a diplomatic shuttle. He remembered breaking down in the middle of the control room. But now, she was here. A living secret, buried behind that glowing mask. She stirred, opening her eyes slowly. You remember now, she whispered. He nodded. I remember everything, he said quietly. But I also remember. Someone else was with you, the day you left. Her voice tightened. You mean your commander? Jace's eyes narrowed. He said he tried to stop the launch. He said you were already gone. She looked away. He lied. What happened? Lyra's voice was low and bitter. He handed me over, just like that. One meeting, one deal. They offered him control of the new fleet if he gave them me. Jace's mouth fell open. Why would he do that? Because he knew what I was, she replied. I was proof that peace could work, that our two species could live together. But if people knew that, the war would end. And if the war ended, men like him would lose their power. Jace clenched his fists. That bastard. Lyra touched her side, wincing from the pain. Her next words were quiet. He didn't just give me away. He watched them take me. He turned his back when I screamed his name. Jace sank to the ground beside her. I was there, Lyra. I believed him, all these years. She looked at him. I don't blame you. They erased your memories. I saw the files inside the mask. They used you just like they used me. He felt something inside his chest guilt, boiling hot. Then we'll make them pay, he said. All of them. No, she said softly. We'll expose them, that's better. He stared at her. You're still the same. She smiled. Weakly, not quite. Just then, a high-pitched ping echoed from his scanner. Jace turned it on. A signal small, weak, but nearby. A transmission beacon. Someone's broadcasting, he said. Lyra sat up straighter, alarmed. It's a trap. They're drawing us out. Not necessarily, Jace said. It's not a hunter code. It's old, military grade, human. They looked at each other. Jace opened the signal. A cracked voice came through the static. If anyone hears this is Captain Malin Ross. I was part of Project Bridgewalker. I have information. Please, help me. Jace's eyes widened. Ross was the doctor who trained you, he said. She disappeared right after the project shut down. Lyra nodded slowly. She was kind to me. She believed in the plan. If she's alive. Jace grabbed his pack and started loading supplies. Then we're not alone. She might know how to remove the mask safely without triggering the failsafe. Lyra looked up at him. Then we go. But as Jace reached for her hand to help her stand, something in the mask flickered again. A flash of red. A warning, the mask spoke. Memory barrier weakening. Face recognition protocols restoring. Identity conflict detected. Jace pulled back. What was that? She clutched her head. It's starting. The mask's lock is breaking down. The truth is coming through. He leaned in. What does that mean? Her hands shook. Her voice turned cold. It means the part of me I forgot, the real part, is waking up. Suddenly, she looked at him, but her expression had changed. Her eyes widened in fear, not for herself, but for him. Jace, she whispered, her voice trembling. When you see who I really am, promise me you won't run. He didn't answer, because deep inside, a fear had started to grow. What if the woman he once loved wasn't just changed? What if she had become something else entirely? Jace had never seen her like this. Lyra's body shook as if caught between two worlds, one human, one alien. Her breath came in short gasps. The mask glowed with flickering light, changing colors, blue, then red, then white. It wasn't just a helmet anymore. It was reacting like it had a mind of its own. She clutched her head and whispered something in a language Jace didn't understand. He reached forward. Lyra, can you hear me? Her voice came back metallic, layered, like two voices speaking at once. I remember everything now. Jace froze. Everything? He asked carefully. Lyra looked up slowly. Her eyes, half glowing behind the visor, stared straight through him. There was another mission, she said. One I wasn't supposed to survive. What are you talking about? I was never meant to be the bridge between our worlds, she whispered. I was meant to be the trigger. The word hit Jace like a punch. No Bridgewalker was a peace project, she nodded slowly. That's what they told me too. But they lied. Both sides lied. The lights in the mask flashed again. They created me to do the unthinkable, she said. To earn trust from both sides. Then, when the time was right, destroy that trust with one act. Jace's voice was barely a whisper. An attack? She nodded. Yes, a biological signal hidden inside my brain. If activated, it would release A virus engineered to look like it came from both sides. His heart raced. That would have started a full war. A total war, she said. And the ones behind it. They would profit. Weapons, power, control of the shattered pieces. Jace turned away, sick. Why didn't they do it? They tried, she said. The first test failed. I didn't react like they expected. I didn't become the killer. They meted. She looked down at her hands, then back at him. Because you were there. You showed me something else. He stared at her. Me? You made me believe peace was possible, she said softly. That trust wasn't weakness. That love wasn't a lie. Jace sat down, speechless. He remembered those days working beside her in the labs, listening to her dreams of unity. She always believed in something bigger, and now it turned out. She was meant to destroy it. Lyra's hand rose to the side of her helmet. A sharp click echoed. Jace jumped. What are you doing? I need to show you, she said. Who? I really am, before the mask forces it on me. He stood up, panic rising. No, wait, if the failsafe triggers, it won't, she said. Not if you stay calm. She looked at him, something soft in her eyes again. I trust you. Jace, even if I shouldn't. And then with slow fingers she unlatched the mask. Hiss of air escaped. The lights dimmed. The helmet separated from the back of her head and slowly slid forward. Jace stared. Underneath the mask, her skin was pale and smooth, almost human. But not entirely. Faint lines of bioluminescence glowed beneath her skin. Her hair was white fine and shimmered like starlight, but it was her eyes that made him stop breathing. One was the soft hazel brown he remembered, Lyra's eye. The other was entirely black, like a void, with a blue circle of energy in the center. It wasn't a mechanical eye, it was alive. Alien, intelligent. And it was crying. I'm not Lyra, she whispered, and I am Lyra. They copied her. Into me. Jace stumbled back. Copied? They took her memories, she said, voice trembling. Her DNA, her emotions. They built me using everything that made her who she was. But I wasn't born. I was designed. His throat went dry. Then, the real Lyra is gone, she said, closing her eyes. But her soul, something of it stayed. It hid inside me. It fought back. Jace's voice cracked. I don't care if you were made. You're her. She looked up. You don't understand. There's more. The lights in the chamber dimmed. A deep hum vibrated through the walls. Jace turned to his scanner. A massive ship had entered orbit, one he didn't recognize. Not human, not alien military. Something older. They found me, Lyra said, standing now, her legs shaking but strong. They want the mask. Jace grabbed his weapon. They're not getting you, he said. She smiled, tired, proud. Then, get ready, Jace, because they're not here to talk. She looked at him one last time, her mask now dangling in her hand. And when this is over, you'll still want to know who I really am. He nodded. I already do. The tunnel shook. Dust rained from the ceiling as the roar of engines echoed above. A low, deep hum filled the air like a thundercloud pressing down on the earth. The old mining base, forgotten for decades, was no longer hidden. The ancient warship had arrived. Jace held his blaster tightly, standing beside Lyra, or whatever remained of her. She had removed her mask, revealing a face that was both hers and not hers. Human warmth mixed with alien tech. A creation. A memory. A weapon. Yet in that face, he still saw her. The real her. You ready? He asked. Lyra stood steady, the glowing lines in her skin pulsing in rhythm with the ship above. No, she said quietly, but I won't run again. Jace nodded. Outside, heavy footsteps echoed. The enemy was coming, not just soldiers, not hunters, but something older. Something from the shadows of both human and alien governments. The ones who had built her, erased her, used her. They had come to claim their failed creation. We need to get the data off the mask, Jay said. We upload it to a beacon, broadcast everything, the names, the evidence, the lies, all of it. She looked down at the helmet in her hand. The once glowing device was now dim, silent, but not dead. I can't just transfer the files, she said. It's tied to my biosignature. They made sure no one could steal it. Jace's eyes narrowed. So how do we unlock it? She stepped forward, her voice steady. With my death. He grabbed her arm. No. There's no other way, she said softly. If I die, the failsafe opens. The mask will release the data automatically, with my brain no longer in control. It was their way to keep the secret safe. Jace's voice shook. Then we find another way. She gave him a sad smile. You don't understand, Jace. I'm not supposed to live. I was made to be a tool, but I became something more. I chose something more. Exactly, he said, stepping closer. You chose. That means you're not their tool anymore. Lyra's eyes met his. The ground shook again, closer this time. The metal door behind them lit up. A scanner locked onto their position. Voices, cold and mechanical, barked commands in alien code. They had minutes, maybe less. Jace looked at the emergency beacon strapped to his belt. If we can get to the ridge above, we can boost the signal. The data can reach the orbital relays. Lyra didn't move. He grabbed her hand. Please, you're not alone anymore. She nodded once. Together they climbed through the maintenance tunnel, crawling through dust and broken cables. Every second, the sounds behind them grew louder, chasing, closing in. They burst into the open air. The storm had passed. The sky above was filled with the strange red glow clouds lit by the engines of the massive ship overhead. It looked like a floating fortress, ancient and cruel, hovering with silent menace. Jace ran to the ridge and planted the beacon. Now, plug it in, hurry. Lyra knelt beside him, placing the mask into the beacon's interface. It buzzed, then pulsed. Connection. Failed. Biological signal required. She placed her hand on the mask. It pulsed again. Life form detected. Release protocol active. But then something changed. The mask glowed, brighter than ever before. Lyra gasped and fell back. Jace caught her. Her skin shimmered, the lights in her veins flashing wildly. I didn't expect this, she whispered. What's happening? The mask isn't just releasing the data, she said, her voice trembling. It's transferring everything. Jace held her tighter. What do you mean? She looked into his eyes. My mind. My memories, my soul. It's copying itself into the relay. Jace's eyes widened. Will you survive? She smiled faintly. Not in this body. But part of me will live on, inside the signal. Inside the truth. The ground cracked as enemy soldiers reached the ledge. They raised their weapons. Jace stood, shielding her with his body. A beam fired, striking the beacon. The machine sparked. But it was too late. The mask's lights exploded outward in a flash of white. The data broadcast began, across every frequency, across every network, human and alien alike. The secrets spilled. Faces, names, missions, the plan to keep the war alive, the betrayal of peace, and the truth about her. Then, silence. The enemy forces stopped. The soldiers looked at each other, then back at Jace. But they didn't fire, because the war had just changed. Jace knelt beside Lyra's body. Her eyes were closed. Her face was peaceful, still, silent. The mask beside her was empty, but then his blinked. A voice came through. Jace? He froze. It's me. I don't know how long this signal will last, but I made it. I'm part of the relay now. I'm not gone. His heart beat faster. She was alive. In a new way. I'll find a way to bring you back, he whispered. Her voice, warm and clear, came through once more. You already did. And in that moment, Jace knew he hadn't just saved a life. He had changed the future.